I know a black person, somebody who comes from Colombia, Cuba, or Caribbean. They are not black. They're Haitian. They're fucking Haitians. They're not fucking black. They're fucking Haitians. No, we ain't even doing history shit. We're talking about today. We're talking about every time a black person gets pulled over. Every fucking Mexican ain't targeted. All these fucking Mexicans never gone through the shit that black folks went through. And they got the fucking nerve. And hold on. And they got the nerve to talk about they built this country. Those bitches wasn't here in the beginning. So I don't want to hear shit about. No, it's not about us against them. But when you fuckers, even your ass, comes out and makes this an issue, that's when we gotta look. This is when we gotta look at it and test. You see this white person? You see your ass? This is what black folks got.
Man, he need that much logic for his body. Well, had his whole stomach hanging out the bottom. Almost thought his shirt was missing.
A crop top for him.
So that's basically what Kamal was going off about last night. I don't know if you remember the fact he put. He said some Mexican guy back in the 1900s or something. But I've seen it on TikTok where they're saying black people should go out there and march with the Mexicans and stuff like that. I feel like reality with the protest is white, is black, is Asian. I feel like it's everybody out there. Even with the BLM protests, there's a lot of white people out there. So I mean, it's like I think it's a mixture if we look at it reality. But so I think if you want to be involved in it, you can be involved in it. If you philosophically think that, I don't think it should be based on race.
Not at all.
Slim,
man, I don't get it because it's like, has there ever been a successful protest in history?
Yeah, I think it's been some successful protests. Look at Gandhi in India. He built a nonviolent protest.
Okay. Was it going down like this?
Yeah, he did a hunger strike. He went to places. That's what Martin Luther King learned from.
But wait a minute. You said it was a non-violent protest.
Yeah.
All right. Was they burning down buildings and shit?
No.
Okay. Those are protests like from the Rodney Kings to, the black and whites. Like, which protest was successful?
Montgomery bus protest from Zach.
How long ago?
That was like 60. It was right around like Rosa Parks and everything like that.
Okay, so
like
basically, are we due for a successful protest if we were to go out there and protest with, during the situation? Will it be successful, or will it be a race war? Because that guy was an idiot. I understand his logic, but the way he was going at it can start a race war. Just saying.
With Mexicans and blacks?
Yeah. You heard what he was saying. If you play that back, that could be very offensive. He could have got his ass whipped.
To me, it's already a race war.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
They fueling that shit, bro. Like I always say, if the only way to stop racism is to stop talking about it. You're an American man. You're an American woman. Why it has to be a color or an ethic behind it? Doesn't matter, yo. If you born in this country and you got a social security number, you're a citizen. If you don't, you're not. How is that hard to understand?
Well, they give them TIN numbers.
That ain't a social.
TIN numbers, and you have to apply for them.
What, the TIN?
The ITINs, yeah, and you have to apply for them.
Yep.
So let's
welcome that little bit Alexis.
Sorry for the
Alexis.
technical difficulties.
All right.
I have
Glad
a very
you can
old phone. Yeah, thanks. Took me a while, but apologies.
Would you like to tell us anything about you, and then give your take on this situation?
Sure. I'm 30. I'm from California. Born and raised here. I am right-leaning. I did vote for Donald Trump, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got. But then you're asking about my take on the ongoing situation in like LA, Santa Ana. That's kind of like
Well,
popping up everywhere. Or
the focus is, should the black community join this situation, or should we stay out of it?
um, so personally, as a Latina, I don't really see. I'm confused as to why. I understand movements do bring all different kinds of people together, and things of that nature. But at the same time, I don't see why the Black community would want to subject themselves to, and also to not just subject themselves to the fact that they could be hurt or harmed, especially because of the simple fact that people are getting out of control and violent. But going beyond that, what they're fighting for is not necessarily, I mean, unless the Black community seriously believes in undocumented migrants being able to come here freely and take advantage of certain programs that are meant for tax-paying citizens, then by all means get involved. But if they don't really support that, then I don't recommend that they get involved. It's just a personal preference.
Cool. Enzo?
So, I mean, the way that I'm looking at it is looking at it from like a historical standpoint. The Hispanic people are trying to say like that they're oppressed, and also that Black people, African Americans, were oppressed. But then again, yes, African Americans were oppressed, but they were brought here forcefully. The Hispanics are coming here illegally by their own recognizance. Like, it's completely two different situations. I think race should not play a part into it and say, oh, well, you guys are oppressed and we're being oppressed now, so you need to stand up with us like we did with you. That's their choice. It's everyone's choice at the end. If they want to do so, like Alexis said, if they want to stand up for illegal migration, then by all means do so. But for an entire race and everybody in America to stand up for it, just to stand up for it, I think it's just stupid.
Yeah, I'm not one to, I don't really go into slavery, race, thing like that. But that do fit this narrative for me. I'm like, yo, it's not the same. Like you said, we were like chucking spears, like poison darts at animals, and we were just minding our damn business. And some super light skinned people came over and was like, "You got some prisoners?" Threw us in there. We was over here working. So to me, it's different. But also, too, the reason why I think this whole thing is a victimhood thing, because you got legal Mexicans who don't even agree with this. There's a lot of them, you just don't hear their voice, and I think that's a big problem. A lot of the people who are legal, it's probably time for them to step up and say, "Hey, y'all need to take y'all ass home. He giving y'all $1,000, get y'all check and get the hell up out of here." Because to me, it's like everything is a competition. I know some people want to be all inclusive. Oh, everybody should have a chance. That ain't how this shit work. Y'all want to know why y'all rent is $5,015 a month? Is because we got more people here than infrastructure. That's what's going on. So if you get some of these illegals, was it millions of them? How many?
11 million.
Sleepy Joe let in?
11 million.
So that's like
Allegedly.
11 million apartments and houses that could be empty, that could drive down the cost if you think about supply and demand. So people are emotional. They're not thinking about this. They're willing to keep paying high prices for everything and they still support illegals. That's what I'm not trying to understand. And media needs to be held accountable, because they're the ones leading the sheep. Anybody who's out here saying keep the illegals here are just sheep, and they're listening to legacy media. And they cutting off their own foot to protect people who's taking food out their mouth. Gray?
Here's the thing. We need people. So for me, I want taxes to go to Social Security. So these immigrants, a lot of them have came here, got an education, got training, and they're paying taxes. So I understand getting rid of these people, but it costs a lot to get rid of them. And then, like, are we going to like bring other immigrants in? Are we going to have children? Like, because the population is getting older. So you don't want a very old population without a young population. So we have to figure out the numbers game with that, and that's the issue that America's having. So yeah, we can get rid of them, but who are we going to replace them with?
Mm.
I
Us.
talk about that all the time on my lives when people bring that up, and I tell them exactly this. I was like, okay, well, if we get rid of all these migrants that are picking our produce and doing all these jobs that Americans won't, and you want them to stay, that's the same exact argument that the Confederacy gave to the Union, saying, well, who's going to pick our cotton? That's the way that I look at it. I personally don't care myself if eggs go to $15 a dozen, because at least they're paying somebody a livable wage. Like in the industry that I'm in, I've said it 1,001 times on my life. Our company was not getting contracts because other companies that will hire illegals, that they have to pay them coming out of union school, they have to pay you, I think it's $30 an hour to do electrical work. They're paying these guys $10 to $15 an hour and giving them room and board, and it's disgusting living habits. That's why they get away with paying them so low. Like, you can't live off $10 an hour in New Jersey. Minimum wage is 15 in New Jersey. You still can't live off that. Like, for these people to getting paid that low, it's just inhumane in my eyes. I don't agree with it on the standpoint that everybody that's working these jobs needs livable wages, and I don't care if that inflates the cost to pay somebody a livable wage to do so. They want to do it legally, do it legally.
Yeah. The other
So
thing I don't
too,
like too.
this
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the Social Security aspect, what you're speaking on, the only ones contributing to that are the ones with ITIN numbers, because Social Security is a federally funded thing. So usually what happens is that most of the time they contribute to the local economy, the state economy, right? They pay sales tax, they property tax if they have a property, things of that nature. The Social Security and things like that people constantly try to bring up and say like, oh, they can't take advantage of it. They're paying all this money into the system, blah, blah, blah. They actually aren't contributing as much as you might think, because of the simple fact that they are not American, technically tax-paying federal citizens. So that is the big difference, unless they have ITIN numbers, which if you look up how many ITIN numbers have been issued over the last 4 years, as opposed to how many illegal migrants have allegedly come over, it's non-comparable. Like it's a fraction of a fraction of the amount.
Mm.
So, like, I understand what you guys are saying, but do you guys think about the cost of getting rid of these people? Because we can't just send them to one place. You have to send them back to where they're from.
I mean, that's just like asking about the cost of surgery. If you gotta get the surgery done, you either gonna have insurance, you have to sell your house or something, but it's a problem. And to me, it's on the level of surgery.
And it's
So
a one
nothing's
time.
free. Yeah, nothing's free.
It's a one time cost as opposed to reoccurring.
Yep. And a lot of the stuff you were saying earlier, as far as like who's gonna do these jobs and stuff like that, to me, that's the problem. Or how are we gonna replenish the population when you got the left who's pushing for independent, the feminism, women empowerment. You got the left that's pushing women away from having babies, extended adolescence, getting degrees, forget the man. A lot of them are carpet munching, and they don't even want to get with a man to have kids. Like, to me, that's a bigger issue than the migration. If we get the migrants out and then encourage people to the 2-parent households, we would cure a lot of that.
I don't feel like you can force people to be in a relationship or have children.
Well, I'm saying it might not
You
be this
can.
generation, but over the generations, like, this is going to keep getting worse if we don't push for people to come together. We
Because of
push
the migrants?
individualism. Say it again.
I said because of the migrants. I'm just trying to figure out the.
No, we're saying like who's going to work these jobs? How are we going? We got a population issue, things like that. So we should keep these illegals here because we got a population issue instead of fixing what's really wrong. And that is getting people together to start families. Like right now, the average person, they want their career over here having kids. You even talk to Gen Zs now, they don't even want kids.
most of the okay, I don't know how this goes. I don't know how much back and forth we're supposed to do, so I don't want to like get too
Go
far
ahead.
into
Oh,
it.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
just so I agree with you to an extent. I think that the idea, because I think that the nuclear family has been attacked, and I think ultimately that's what's best for raising a child is the nuclear family. I think that there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to be a stay-at-home wife and mother. I think that it's ridiculous that women or feminists think that they can shame other women for their choices. Right? That's the whole point. Is that we fought for our right to choose. But that being said, I mean, I don't think that I don't know. There were a couple statements that you made that slightly disagree with. Like I don't think that they can choose your sexuality, whether you are, gay, or if you choose to be, or if you want to be a lesbian, or even experimentation. Because I know that you can't choose it, but I just don't think that that was an accurate like correlation there. But I am understanding what you're saying in the sense to where I do believe that the sense of like a nuclear family and like traditional values have been basically almost demonized in a sense by media and entertainment, etc.
To me that leans into that contributes to as far as the alphabet community also. Those like you got a lot of kids who are being groomed, seeing stuff early, corn, all that. A lot of that leads to that
So,
type of
but corn, did we say corn? God, we've spent way too much time on TikTok. um,
yeah.
um, but I mean, also too, if you think about it, so I mean, I understand, like, I get the indoctrination aspect when it comes to the trans community. I don't believe in sexualizing anything that has to do with kids. So LGB is what it originally was, right? And then they added the T and everything else. Lesbian, gay, bisexual. There's no reason why that needs to be taught in schools. Those are sexual preferences and orientations. They are not necessarily like now it's turned into two-spirited, this and that, and it's gotten way overly complex. But um porn exists regardless of sexuality. There's homosexual porn, there's heterosexual porn, there's all kinds of different wild stuff out there. The access to it is the issue. It's not the content, it's the issue. You need to be an adult to consume that kind of media. And if you're not, then you should not be able to access it. We need to have better regulations on it, but not an outright ban on it. That's crazy.
And I'm not saying, because to me, I'm more of the parents should be handling that. That's why I'm saying the nuclear family and people who got good situations, they can focus on the kids more than throwing them off to the system, public schools, whatever. And I'm saying all this to wrap it up. I'm saying all this to say that illegals, kicking them out is not going to cause all these issues that they're saying. It's like Enzo said, as far as they were saying the same things when it came to freeing the slaves. The thing is right and wrong is wrong. This land wasn't stolen, it was conquered. That's another weak argument that I'm to me, I feel like beta types, just weak men and weak people, victims, say this kind of stuff. Nature is competitive. Even if you have a house, you have to guard your house. If somebody just illegally comes in your house and they stay there for 5 years, they can take over your house. So you have to fight to keep your house. That's your land. You have to fight to keep your land. And if somebody comes in and take it, you got to give it up. America came in and was like, I want that. They took it. Now we have it. We're defending it. And I'm all for it. So the land wasn't stolen. It was conquered. Mexico couldn't hold. Y'all throwing up this weak flag, just like they throw up the Confederate flag in the South. They both were weak loser flags. Y'all throwing them up. Mexico, y'all lost. Understand that, and be cool that California is still embracing Mexican culture. It's called Los Angeles. So just that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, it really is Mexico. It's just under a different rule. Like, put that damn flag down. Put up your American flag and stop all this shit. But guess what? This is what the left want. Anything that is wrong, the left supports it. That's why we can't get stuff together. Stop blaming Trump. What's the dude name? The governor of California. Stop blaming Trump. Yeah, Newsom, whatever. It's not Trump's fault. It's the left's fault for not getting behind what's right. It's just like two parents. You got a kid and the kid wants a lollipop and goes to dad and dad say no. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to, since my parents don't get along, I'm going to go to the mother. She's going to say, yeah, she's going to go cuss out the dad and he's weak and he's going to allow it. That's what's going on right now between the left and the right. We can't stick together on shit. So you got people like illegals. You got people like single mothers. You got all these other people who, all the Kamala voters, all them. That's what they're doing. They don't want to listen to authority. That's all this is about. If the left and the right told the media to shut up and they backed what Trump is doing, there would be no riots right now.
That was a lot. But Trump is basically doing things in an unconstitutional way. That's why these people are upset. If Trump was just doing things like the normal person, nothing will be happening.
We don't know that though. He enacted a National Guard off a federal law. So the courts are going to figure that out, but we don't know that. But what we do know is that these illegals came here unconstitutionally. That's what we do know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, too, what were we supposed to do? I mean, as someone who has had family members who have been in, like, police force, it's just like that's their job, and I understand that that's their job, and they agree to put their life on the line. But one thing that I can't co-sign on is the fact that they go home, especially during these riots. I look at the guys all lined up there, all just trying to hold their ground, and it's just like I can only imagine how their wives feel, how their daughters feel, how their sons feel, saying that, knowing that that's their dad or uncle or whoever, and they see them and they see people just wailing things at them, rocks, scooters, whatever. And it's like, and the thing is what are you going to solve? When has fighting fire with fire ever turned anything good? Except for, I mean, all it does is turn everything into ash. And it's not going to be helpful. It's not going to be beneficial. And honestly, no one listens to you. It's like when you stoop to a personal insult during a debate, you've lost all your ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something great. You said something great because the left loves to say MAGA and Republicans are inhumane. And you got these protesters who are in the wrong, burning up cars, throwing boulders. They were throwing those scooters. They throwing scooters over the bridge.
Yes, on the freeway.
Yeah, on the
Still
freeway.
closed. The freeway's still closed.
Gray, why are you still a damn Democrat, man? You don't see this shit?
MAGA does some wild stuff too. MAGA
The Democrats are evil, man. They are demonic. And they try to, that's what the devil do. The devil comes in what you perceive as the purest form, but it's all evil. And that's what the left is. Evil. I'm sure it's on both sides, but you know what? At least Trump and MAGA, we up front with it. We ain't hiding shit.
Slim, do you want to say something?
Y'all need to change our logo to a chameleon.
Hold on, Vogler. Slim, do you want to say something before I go?
Hey man, I love it. This is what I call all facts. And when the facts is being spit, I chill and be legit, listen to everything. You know what I mean? I'm good. Like I would say everything that the young lady in Vogue is saying right now is strictly my thoughts.
The first thing that I'm gonna say is that as soon as you start saying somebody's evil or demonic or something like that, you're now taking it from facts to spiritual. So it's now becoming more of like not an actual factual argument. So like that's what is happening with like some Republicans. Also, like the protest is like what America is. We were built on the Boston Tea Party, throwing the tea into the water. So you should have some type of protest in the country. So I wouldn't classify that as like evil. And I wouldn't classify, a lot of misinformation that's based on politics that's just not true, which is like.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you something, Greg.
Yeah.
You don't believe. Yeah, you said something, boy. You don't believe that we're dealing with a spiritual battle currently?
No, I don't. When I look at the government, I'm not a person that's going to say, even with Trump, I would never say Trump is a demon or the Antichrist. I would never say something like that. I would just say, "Oh, this is like what the law says." Like that. That's my perspective on things with politics.
But
Trump said
your
something.
party leads with that though, and that's I was gonna say that your party leads with that. They lead with calling Trump Hitler, the devil, all these other things, and then when we say it, now you want to say it's not fact. When y'all lead with this,
But hold on, Trump said something, right? And it made the utmost sense. Maybe about 4 years ago, he said the reason this country is the way it is today is because we got away from God. And that statement, to me, was 100% factual. So it's not even about Trump. It's about that statement and where we are now. That's why I know it's a spiritual battle. And when you look at everything, and I'm not asking people to be all sentimental and spiritual and all that stuff, but when you look at everything that this man has been through, he's here for a reason. Like the only man that accumulated hate like this is Jesus, bro. That's the only man. You got to understand what this man has been through that he didn't have to go through. And that's where I stand with the brother, because at the end of the day, with all the money he had, he could have just said, you know what? I'm good. I don't need my great grandchildren to be hated. I don't need my grandsons to be getting punched in the face every time they go out to eat. And I think it's the total opposite. His great grandson will be looked at differently because of what his great granddad is doing today. Biblical times, bro.
I don't want to take over talking. Enzo and Alexis, I'll let y'all talk about it. I just want to respond to them real quick. If you look at the chat right now, everybody is saying like religious stuff. So like that's what separates, I feel like, the right's way of thinking and the left's way of thinking, where when you look at the right, they cater to like Christians. They cater to like what you feel, because even though you say, "Oh, it's what Democrats feel," but they're catering to like, "Oh, this is anti-Christian. Oh, look at these trends. Look, they're doing this to kids." They cater to that because they know this is what's gonna affect the person because they're very religious. Whereas with Democrats, I do think Democrats are elitists. I do think Democrats are snobs to a certain degree because they want to be intellectual. They want to talk about evolution and science and all of that. So like that does miss with like the basic population where you can just do an emotional religious take. So it's just a different frame way of thinking. Like, so I'm a big history buff, so I'm really into like information. So but I mean, I believe in God, but I'm not a person that's like gonna base my decisions based on religion.
yeah. And before Enzo and Alexis go, gotta keep it a little bit Alexis or Alexis, which one?
Alexis, either way, it's fine.
All right. Since Gray want to be logical, I'm gonna be logical to what Slim said. As far as Trump saying America has gotten away from God, you can translate that into normal everyday language. We've gotten away from family. A lot of the left goes off of feelings. We've gotten away from structure. Basically, what they campaign on is we should be able to do what we want. I keep saying that you got people on the left who think babies should have consent. Things like that. Like it's like people who want to eat sugar all day instead of their fruits and vegetables. The left wants to eat sugar. The right is like, we need some collard greens and we need some Brussels sprouts. We need something. We need our vegetables. That's what they mean by we've gotten away from God. So if you want to take it off a religious level, you have a lot of the right who wants to do things structured and responsibly. The left wants to do whatever they feel. That's what they call freedom. And you hear it a lot as far as men. They say men who are structured, who are strict, are oppressive. When a lot of times they just want to run a tight ship. They want their kids to do well. They don't want their wife to be embarrassing them. They the head of their house. Things like that. They might be budgeting strict. They might have a strict budget to try to build a nest egg, and the woman just wants. What's that? Serena Williams talking about financial abuse. She just wants to go buy a car, or buy nails, get her hair done instead of paying the car payment, things like that. That's what you got a lot on the left. So that's what is being said when we talking about getting away from God. Go ahead, Alexis and Enzo.
Enzo, go for
You
it.
can go first, Alexis.
Nope, you go first.
All right. So I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I don't put my religion into my politics. I say it explicitly all the time on my lives. Whenever I do debates and anything like that, I don't want to hear about politics. That's not how I voted. I didn't vote because of my religious views. I mean, but I can see where everyone's coming from. Like, what really did it for me was when Kamala Harris, somebody put it in the chat, um, the two people there got thrown out of it because they were talking about Christ as King or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, you're at the wrong rally for this." And then her
Yeah.
saying, "How dare we say Merry Christmas?" I'm like, come on now. I look at it at that lens, and a quote that I've read from General Patton, and I'm not going to read the entire thing, but he was pretty much saying that the United States is going to fall into a land of lost morals and degeneracy within the next 50 years. And that was in 45 that he said that. I mean, I can see that nowadays, that it's fallen into a land of no morals and degeneracy. The biggest thing was that the people at the alphabet community, like, come on now, like having pride parades and having people like halfway naked parading through the streets in front of children, and having drag queens reading books to children. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't agree with any of that at all. It's disgusting to me. There should be some morals and class in this country, and not what the left is pushing. And that everybody breaks it down to religion and everything like that. It's not really just about religion when people are breaking it down to what's going on. It's what we prefer, what should really happen. Like, I'm sorry, you can't do half the shit that we do here that the left wants in any country around the world. Like, go try doing any of that in the fucking Middle East or even in some European countries. They will lock you up, or literally in the Middle East just behead you on the spot. Like, it's like, I'm not saying we should go that far, but that should be what you want to do in your home and what you want to teach your children. That's how it should stay. 100%. That's 100% what I agree with. I don't think we should be pushing our views onto everybody. Same way with the Republicans pushing views on everybody else too.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of that. The 10 Commandments in the classroom is not necessary. I know that there's I don't know if it passed already in Texas, but I think that that's absurd. We on the right so like adamantly pushed for the removal of any like LGBTQ flags, all this stuff, because to us it feels like indoctrination, right? Like, I mean, that's what it feels like to me personally. And then you want to go and pass a law or whatever it was stating that classrooms were mandated to have the 10 Commandments posted. That's ridiculous. Not the best thing about the United States is it's the melting pot of the world, right? There are people from all different religions, all different backgrounds. And the best thing about the United States is if you want to be a Satanist, you can be a Satanist. I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that I agree with it, but it's not. Although I don't think that it's right, it doesn't necessarily make it wrong here in the United States. That's the land of the free, right? However, I agree with Enzo, and I agree with you guys to an extent in the statements of like, I don't see any reason why we need to be pushing these adult perspectives, these adult complex situations down kids' throats to the point to where it's like we basically feed them false information, telling them that daddy can get pregnant is an insane take. Like, you're just lying. You're lying to your kids. Like, and then you're further confusing them, because then when they get older and they've been indoctrinated so much, they're like, well, but men can't. It's like, no, men cannot menstruate. Men cannot have children. Like, I'm very sorry, but they cannot. I know that that might be a shock to everyone, but they can't. And so, I
Nor
mean,
do we
I
want
just,
to.
right. I mean, I hear it's pretty rough. I don't have them myself, not yet, but like, I hear it's pretty tough, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. But yeah, I mean, it's just, the morality is subjective. However, I think we can all agree on a baseline of morality, which is why we have laws. You don't hurt kids. You don't take away someone's bodily autonomy in the sense where like you don't invade their physical space. You like You don't, take something that doesn't belong to you. Like there's a baseline of morality that we should all objectively follow. And for some reason, the line keeps just like moving and it just keeps going back. It's like this wavy thing. I don't know what's going on, but it's gotten a bit out of control. And it almost seems like they just want to keep pushing it just to push it. Like, oh, why not? Let's see what we can get away with now.
Yep. But that's all nature. It's the men like myself. Well, I'm gonna say all of us on here. We supposed to hold the line. We supposed to set the standard. And you got media, which is like a new thing where the weaker people can talk and fight now. And
Because they're alive.
Yeah. And what do they call the men who are trying to set these standards and run society and bring it back to what it's supposed to be?
Misogynists.
There you go.
Or toxic masculinity. Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be toxic masculinity, but that's the real masculinity. And that's why the country is crazy right now, because the people like me, they're teaching the younger generations that we are the oppressors when we're really the ones who are creating the structure. I will keep saying it. If you can't understand structure and why you need to have rules and regulations, look at your body. Your skin is an oppressor. Your skin holds you together. If your skin just went away tomorrow, like liberals and feminists want us to do, you would just be a full glob on the ground. You wouldn't be able to walk, talk, nothing. Your skin is the oppressor that holds you together so that you can function. Structure is real freedom, not the expression or the ability to do whatever you want when you want. That's what keeps you oppressed, is not having structure. I wish the left would learn this.
Slim, you over there quiet?
Nah, I'm taking it all in right now, man. I think I said all my takes that I needed to say. I'm good.
For sure. So let's do closing thoughts. Alexis, I know you came late, but what are you thinking of Man Cave? What's your final thoughts?
This was fun. I've watched you guys for a little while. Enzo actually introduced me to you guys. It's fun and great to be up here with you guys for the first time. I do apologize for my technical difficulties, but yeah, I've had a great time. I hope I can join again, and just thank you guys for having me.
For sure. And Enzo, thank you for bringing Alexis. What's your final thoughts?
So my final thoughts are, Alexis, thank you for coming. It was another great episode. Just get back to America. Let's get back to what America was founded on, and all these riots and everything like that. I'm disgusted by seeing it, to be honest with you. Seeing in LA, and then seeing a map from nokings.org and all these organized protests that are going on because of this. Like, all you're doing at the end of the day is, one, making a fool out of yourselves and showing what type of people we don't want in America at the end of the day. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. Saturday, I'm hoping for the best. I will be in New York City at Bryant Park to be at supposedly one of the biggest protests that are going on. And I've already seen footage over the last couple of days, and it's disgusting what I'm seeing going on already. But we can only hope for the best and hope that this ends quickly and they do everything the right way. I stand with Donald Trump on what they're doing and what this administration is doing. Yeah. Keep it classy, America. Enzo out.
Slim?
Yeah, man. Enzo, you be safe, especially in NY with all this nonsense going on. It's a real tough time. But I just say, man, another great show. Man Cave is how we do it. We speak our feelings, keep God first, and stay prayed up, because we living at real crazy times. And if y'all into music, 85 Slim on all platforms. Man Cave Monday and Wednesday. Oh, I'm traveling to Africa tomorrow, so I won't be on next week, guys.
Have fun. Have a safe trip.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My final thoughts. You have the right to protest, but yeah, should it be violent? You should be following the law. It is getting crazy. I think it has to be like some type of better way. What I was saying was before is I feel like they should use technology or something to arrest these people, because this is just crazy. I hope that they can get it calmed down and that, you know, the damage can be stopped. Man cave. Vulgar.
Oh yeah. So y'all remember in school when you went to gym class, you had a certain part of the gym that wanted to play parachute. You had the other half that wanted to play dodgeball. So what did you do? Y'all voted, right? Gym teacher said, hey, who want to play dodgeball? Everybody raise your hand. They raise their hand. All right, who want to play parachute? Raise their hand. All right, parachute won. So the people who wanted to play dodgeball, if they're good sports, they're going to get behind the people with parachute because that's what was agreed upon. A majority agreed upon parachute, so they play parachute. But you might have had that one little kid who started crying and threw a fit. That's all these protesters in the streets. That's the left. If y'all all get in line because most of America voted for Trump and get behind what he says, protest stop. But because y'all can't play fair and you got to whine about everything, that's what this is about. All right. I'm going to say, if y'all still in here, it's a bunch of y'all in here, subscribe to the new party. I don't think Gray did it. Subscribe to the new party, and then y'all subscribe to me at Locker Room Uncut. And Man Cave, we out.
Oh yeah, and thank you, Alexis, for coming. And Enzo, Alexis, Enzo's mod. They're on live together on TikTok.
Same name, Little Bit Alexis, or I'm currently on Little Bit Suspended because your girl likes to get in trouble all the time. So TikTok don't like me very much.
They hate us.
Sure. But yeah, we definitely have to have Alexis come back on for sure. I'm gonna play the outro.